Choir for sound. Welcome everyone, good afternoon. My name is Reverend Jim Larkin. It is my pleasure to serve as the interim community minister for the Chaplaincy Institute's interfaith community. It is my great pleasure and privilege to welcome you on behalf of this community, on behalf of these 6 individuals who are to be ordained, and our 4 spiritual directors who are being certified. Today we also recognize that 20 years and 2 days ago, on November 14th, 1999, the first group of Chaplaincy Institute Interfaith Studies students was ordained. And so, on this special day, I welcome you, family and friends, faculty and students, distinguished guests, and a special shout out to our live streamers who are watching through their computers. As we begin this celebration, it is appropriate to recognize and take a moment to recognize that we are gathering today on what was originally Ohlone land. And we have a blessing of the Lishan people to be here in their land. So we say thank you to them. And they have asked us all to find real and practical ways in which we can help our Indigenous friends. One of those ways, for those of you who live in the East Bay, might be to check into the Segoria Te Land Trust, which you can find through a Google search. And I invite each of us to find ways to support Indigenous peoples in our own neighborhoods, wherever we live and reside. Now, before we jump into ordination and celebration, a few logistical items. There are restrooms down the stairs that are found in the back in the foyer. Please check that all your cell phones and other electronic devices are turned off or vibrate at best if you do need to stay connected to the outside world. As I understand, we might have an on-call chaplain in the audience today. Immediately following the ceremony, we invite you to join us through these doors on your left in the reception hall. The ordinands and spiritual directors will be hanging out here for a little bit for photographs, so please make your way there. There are some memory books for the ordinands in which you can leave a note or just sign your name and let them know that you know they are special. If you would like to join or connect with us and find out more about our community, connect with us through Facebook, Instagram, and on the Chaplaincy Institute website at chaplaincyinstitute.org. There is a link to the provider page where you will find a full list of the 221 individuals who have been ordained through the Chaplaincy Institute. And there's a listing geographically so you can identify the ones that are in your neighborhood. So now let's turn to why we're here and who we are. We are an interfaith community which strives to create a just world that honors sacred connection of all, acknowledging the many pathways to divinity as we contemplate and understand the phrase, all is one. As mentioned, today is special for ordination, certification of spiritual directors, and a 20th anniversary. Some of you may still be wondering, what really does it mean to ordain? So let's take a look at that. I love words, I love the dictionary, so I went online and I looked up to ordain. The definition that I liked most says, to invest officially as by the laying on of hands with ministerial or priestly authority. As you see in your program, we will be inviting you to participate in the laying on of hands a little later. And it's important to highlight that this is an official act. This isn't just something fun that we decided to do. The laying on of hands is an act that's been used for millennia by a myriad of traditions to make this investment in the recipients of the laying on of hands. Now, let's take a closer look at the word to invest. We usually think about investing as money and looking for a return on an investment. To invest in someone means to furnish them with power or authority, a sentiment we saw in the definition of to ordain. It's the second definition that I like. To endow someone with a quality, to infuse. Now, I like the word endow, but I'm going to go right to the word infuse. The dictionary tells us that to infuse someone is to cause them to be permeated with something, such as a principle or a quality that alters them, usually for the better. That's part of the definition. So today, we will, in part through the laying on of hands, and in full through this entire ritual, cause these three wonderful individuals, 6 individuals, to be infused, truly, infused. Where am I? With the laying on of hands and through this entire ritual, we will cause these 6 individuals to be permeated with ministerial authority, and I believe they will all come out on the other side better for it. And of course, we are investing, endowing, and infusing our new spiritual directors as we witness them receiving their certificates. I can hardly wait. This is really exciting. And it was for this purpose that our interfaith community and seminary had its beginning 20 years ago. The Reverend Jean Rose Halpern gathered a group of clergy women and men and shared her vision to foster interfaith dialogue and promote peace and understanding in our world through innovative spiritual care. Gina Rose, if you're on the live stream, for your bold vision and determination to make this happen, we say thank you and congratulations. As we celebrate this anniversary, I wanted to get a feel for who all is actually here. So let me ask you, if you are here today to show your support for one of the ordinands or one of the spiritual directors, would you please stand and identify yourselves? Yay! That's some strong support. Thank you for being here, everyone. You may be seated. If you are here today as a current or current student in either the Chaplaincy Institute Interfaith Studies or Spiritual Direction Program, current students, please stand up. Thank you. If you have completed one of these 2 programs and are now an alumnus of the program, please stand and let us recognize you. If you have served or are serving as a guest faculty, would you please stand and be recognized? I'm not sure there is Jan. Thank you, Jan. If you have served or are currently serving as core faculty, would you please rise? If you have served on or are currently a member of our board, would you please rise? Now we're going to go about that in a slightly different way, so please bear with me. If your first-hand affiliation is as a student, faculty, board member, or donor, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot a significant and important group in this to be recognized. If you have financially supported through donations, would you please stand and be recognized? So you will all be standing again in a moment. Please stand if you are a first-hand affiliate with the CHI as a student, an alum, a donor, a faculty member, board member, in any way, shape, or form. Please stand. Now let me ask, if your affiliation with CHI is of 5 years or less, 5 years or less, please sit down. And 10 years or less, 29 to today. 15 years or less. Listen carefully. 19 years or less. So those of you who are remaining standing, you're going to think you're in that crowd, are you? Thank you for being here from the beginning and your obvious ongoing support by the fact that you are here today. Now let's take a moment to meet those who are around you, in front, behind, left, and right. If it's someone you don't know, let them know what your affiliation with the Chaplaincy Institute is, and maybe make a new friend today. Hey, Justin. I'm not sure if these are new friendships being formed or old ones being renewed, but you will have an opportunity to extend your conversations a little bit later. I'm going to invite now Lauren Van Ham, outgoing Dean of Everything.
Many of us call this the city of Berkeley. It is home and territory to the Ohlone people. It is the Potter and Derby Creek watershed. So let us give our gratitude today for this earth on which we stand, for the air, for the water, for the sun, for the spirits of the land and the spirits of this place. For 20 years, the Chi interfaith community has been about the formation of professional chaplains, spiritual directors, leaders, care providers, so that when they return to their homes, they might better bear witness and serve the spirits of those lands, the spirits of those places. And this is the simple miracle, the cosmic mystery that each of us is a point in this great shimmering web, this interdependent web. May goodness infuse the web, and may goodness shower today upon these graduates and these ordinands. If you pray, please pray with me. And if you don't pray, may this tune be a moment of centering reflection for you. These are the words I sang at my ordination 20 years ago this week. Spirit of the living God, fall afresh on us. Spirit of the living God, fall afresh on us. Melt us, mold us, fill us, use us. Spirit of the living God, fall afresh on us. Amen.
I'm going to take official privilege here. I need to interject something that I left out earlier. If you have served the Chaplaincy Institute in any way, shape, or form as a member of the staff, please stand. Past, present, and maybe future. So let me now introduce the Reverend John Mabry, Director of the Spiritual Direction Program, to introduce us to those spiritual directors that are being recognized today.
You know it's a sacred event when somebody pulls out the ukulele. Spiritual direction is a specialized ministry in which two people companion together to discover what the divine is up to in a person's life. On the surface, it looks a lot like psychotherapy. Two people meet in an office, they talk for an hour, they make an appointment for next time. But that's where the similarity ends. Because while in therapy, the subject is the client's emotional life, In spiritual direction, the subject is the client's spiritual life. It's kind of like couples counseling, except the couple is the client and the divine. Together, the spiritual director and the client explore the client's intimacy with the divine. What nurtures it? What gets in the way of it? How can we help that intimacy deepen, flourish, become juicy and life-giving? Spiritual direction requires special training, and our certificate graduates this year are exemplary. I am proud to have trained such a patient, sensitive, and skilled group of people. I would recommend each of them with a whole heart to anyone seeking a spiritual director. As a school, it is our privilege to hand these certificates of completion to such an accomplished group of students. I'm going to call them up one at a time, and while they're coming up, we have a tradition in our spiritual direction program. After I read each name, let us all sing a blessing to the recipient as they're coming up. The blessing goes like this. Go forth, we've got holy work to do. Go forth, may our prayers carry you. The words are in your bulletin. All right, sing it with me once. Go forth, we've got holy work to do. Go forth, may our prayers carry you. Nancy Doherty, where are you? Come on up. Go forth, we've got holy work to do. Go forth, may our prayers carry you. Jacqueline Duhart, go forth, we've got holy work to do. Go forth, may our prayers carry you. Heather Sarantis, go forth, we've got holy work to do. Go forth, may our prayers carry you. Rivka Gevertz, go forth, we've got holy work to do. Go forth, may our prayers carry you. Do we have a handheld microphone? Trade. My friends, I'd like to offer you a blessing as you go forth to do your holy work. May what is holy go before you, to guide you and prepare your way. May what is holy go behind you. May it support you and have your back. May what is holy go beside you, to companion you and to love you. And may what is holy bless you, so that you might be a blessing to others. May it be so.
Before they each take a turn offering you some special words that they have prepared, I want to read to you a short excerpt from an email I received from Bonnie during our process of preparing for today. Bonnie wrote, "There's an Alaskan term, taiga, that describes the land between the tundra and the forest. Most of us feel that our lives and Chi as an organization are in that in-between space where we are not yet anymore where we left, and we have not yet landed in the settled place. So we're referencing ourselves as Team Taiga." So that is what we've been addressing each other as we've gone back and forth in emails, as I have written to them as a group. It's always "Dear Team Taiga." So it is now my pleasure to invite the members of Team Taiga to share with you some of their thoughts on this occasion. And we begin with April.
My practical mother may well have referred to my studies at Chi as a wild goose chase, seeing it as a long search in pursuit of something pointless. Irish as she was, little did she know that in the Celtic tradition, it is a wild goose that symbolizes the Holy Spirit. And that was just the chase I longed for. The wild goose that I sought is no calm and gentle dove, but a wild one who lives up to its name, untamed and uncontrolled. When my daughter was quite small, we would walk along the river near our home where a flock of geese took up residence long before we did. We did not chase these geese. That would suggest that they were running away. No, without fail, encountering them blocking the path, we would soon be fleeing from their aggressive pursuit of us. It is said that the one you are seeking is already seeking you. Thank goodness it is not left up to me and my pursuits alone to come to know the holy. That is the comfort I find in the Hebrew story of the Creator walking in the garden, searching out the cowering humans, calling them by name. To this other, who has aggressively pursued me, I have bowed 5 times a day, humbly prostrate. To this one who has called after me, I have sung praise and returned again and again. To this energy who gives speed to my feet, I have found myself dancing until my body's exhaustion quiets my spirit. For this intrusive love, I have sought to serve those most in need. Like Rumi, I have found there are 1,000 ways to kneel and kiss the ground. I have not caught the wild goose, but instead I have felt pursued, nudged, and even harassed by the same. And when I am paying attention, and blessedly sometimes when I am not, I catch a glint of light on a wing ever so near, assuring me there is promise in the pursuit. As Mary Oliver has said, the world calls to me like the wild goose, harsh and exciting, announcing my place in the family of things. So today I claim my place in this family and continue the chase.
Good afternoon, my fellow 13.7 billion-year-old culminative nodes of cosmic consciousness. My wobbly steps toward ministry and my time at Chi have centered around healing. The particular wound I've been dealing with concerns my professional life and my spiritual life, which have never fully integrated. Now, I find myself, thanks to the Chaplaincy Institute and some personal perspicacity, working as a hospital chaplain. And this most definitely weds my spiritual and emotional, vocational lives. On a macro scale, there's a somewhat similar, resonant cultural trauma. Our dark Cartesian dualistic head wound, that is the unnecessary split between body and spirit, what some call heart and mind. And around these parts, blessed be, there is great talk of moving out of the mind and down into the heart, what I call cardiocentrism. And for the most part, I've been on board. It's felt right in this field of study, in this line of work. However, I cannot ignore the great pang of injustice I feel behind the idea that the mind cannot be a primary agent of healing and love. You'll notice that I'm still caught in the dichotomous language game. This is not what I want. What I want is to live in language that fully reunites the mind and the heart for the singularity that they are, that it is, which is our human experience. In this regard, in terms of spiritual care, I am coming to practice a trust in spoken poetic healing, a faith that my voice will utter what's needed in the moment, coalescing that nasty fracturing between body and spirit. This communicative communion is an aim toward embodying logos, the word of truthful beauty that infuses divinity into every moment. This moment, right now, all of us participate in the re-enchantment of and reconnection to our animate cosmos. Thank you all.
My name is Kim Edwards, and the most apt way I could come up with to describe this moment in time was to say Ubuntu. You have probably heard it by now. UBUNTU, Ubuntu. It means a philosophy, a way of life that is built on kindness, generosity, community, and connectedness. So on this, our ordination day, on this, the day that we are officially blessed as spiritual directors, I ask you to remember this. You paid our tuition when we could not. You housed us and fed us pancakes. You took us to the city for improv shows to bring our mind to something else. When we wouldn't shut up, you dove into the spiritual with us. You made us laugh and remember that no matter what, as is, you love us as we are. Reverend Desmond Tutu said further of Ubuntu that a person with Ubuntu is open and available to others, affirming of others, does not feel threatened by those who are able and good. It is based on a proper self-assurance that comes from knowing that they belong to the greater whole. I am who I am because we are what we are together. Blessed be, namaste, amen, and can I get an amen?
Is everybody crying by now? Because I am. Oh, wow. My first thought was to just get up here and say, I have no words. So I really don't have good words, but I'm going to attempt them. My journey to this moment of ordination has been long and winding, topsy-turvy, and extremely bumpy. And I would be happy to tell you of the intimate details of how my childhood dreams of becoming a minister of love was destroyed over and over again because I was too rebellious or too weird, or because I chose to love gay people, or because I stopped believing in hell, or simply because I was a woman. Or I could tell you of the deep depression since my childhood due to my fear of never being loved for who I was. Or I could tell you of my battle with cancer and divorce and homelessness all at the same time. But I do not have the time, nor do I feel like any of these events truly define me or make me worthy of being ordained today. These events have helped shape me into a more unique expression of love that wants to be experienced through me, here and now, but it also has been here since the beginning of time. I have come to realize that I am love that cannot be stopped. I am compassion. I am delight and curiosity, and I am challenge, and listening and observing and wondering. I am careful and carefree, which sometimes can be confusing to people, but's no longer confusing to me. I am fire, and I am earth, and I am light, and I am beauty, and I am receptive, and I am rebellion at the same time, and I am joy and peace. I am love over revenge and boundaries over being a doormat. And most importantly, I have realized I am the awareness that my joy and peace are directly linked to the safety and security of all beings on earth. I am honored to have all of me recognized here today by this gracious community, this compassionate and open and caring community of Chi that I've been with for 6 or so years now. And I am extremely thankful to my mentor, Dr. Frank Willie, who has encouraged me to see myself for who I truly am, and has encouraged me in my darkest hours to know the love of the universe that's inside my own soul. May all of you discover and find joy in you, in who and what you are. Thank you.
My sister called. I'm singing hymns at Mom's bedside. We don't expect her to live through the night. At 80, Mom had lived with multiple sclerosis for over 50 years. Her body was tired. Even expecting this moment, a primal grief enveloped me as I sobbed. The next call came 6 hours later. Mom woke up. What? Mom woke up, looked at me, and said, "Why do you look so confused?" Mom, you've been at death's door all day. No response. Did you hear me? Yes. I've been at death's door all day. I haven't eaten anything, have I? Could you take me to the dining room for dinner? And they did. My mom lived another 6 months, and died peacefully in her sleep. My ministry is focused on end of life, and my mother and others who have died have taught me some universal truths. The first, death is not optional. Secondly, it's unpredictable. Third, we're all in it together. Sometimes we need support, sometimes we are supported, but as part of the human family, in those darkest moments of unspeakable pain, we have each other. And finally, Death is a mystery. We don't know what's next. My mother sees herself heading to heaven, being met by Jesus. Or perhaps her soul returned to stardust, as the storyteller Michael Meade suggests, and we re-examine the old phrase, "From dust thou art, to dust thou shalt return." While we are here in our human bodies, may we remember the blessing of being born, and may we also feel the love and beauty that exists from the Spirit every day. And so it is. Thank you.
Can't believe I'm here. I want to say thank you to all persons who have helped me to arrive in this time, in this space. And I want to say a special thank you to the Reverend Megan Wagner. I want to thank you for your wisdom, your creativity, and your teaching that has helped me transform. Prior to Chi, I was searching outside of myself to affirm who I was, while daily affirming to myself what I was not. But I am no longer searching, realizing that I had to go deep within myself to find out who I am. I am. I am the good mother. I am unconditional love. I am comfort. I am protection. I am the good mother. I am the wise woman. I am choosing responsibly. Amen. I am the master of my life. I am the wise woman. I am the warrior. I am focused. I am skillful. I am strong. I am the warrior. I am the queen. I am compassion. I am open-hearted. I am emotionally balanced. I am the queen. I am the visionary. I am change. I am transformation. I am restoration. I am slashing through all illusion and confusion, and I am mastering my thoughts. I am the visionary. I am the manifester. I am guiding, I am implementing, I am manifesting, I am the manifester. I am whole. I am healed. I am a divine spark of universal light, and I am an interfaith chaplain. I am.
Are you fired up? Good. Because it's my opportunity to invite the president of our board of directors, Anita, I want to say your last name correctly, Adesanya, who will bring us to the offering. And I need to make one amendment to the bulletin. The vocalist during the offering will be not April, but April's charge giver, Tessa.
Well, good day, Chi and friends. I think I'm going to start with this Yoruba proverb. And I'm going to attempt to speak it in Yoruba. Yoruba is a tribe and a language of peoples in West Africa, in the country of Nigeria, on the continent of Africa, from which my husband hails. and for which I've visited many times. It goes like this. Moni ajowo, woni ajowo, ohunti abajowo, jigum ni ngum. It means, I said, let's mind it together. And they responded, let's mind it together. Whatever has everyone's attention and care comes out straight. The translation says, pooling resources ensures success. Some of you know that one of my most favorite creative geniuses on this earth, she's a musical genius, and she's a very, she has a real tangible soul. And so if you listen to her or find yourself in her presence, you can feel her. Her name is India Ari. And so one of her songs that I love, especially when I think about Chi, goes a little bit like this. We are a humankind of 7 billion, so many different races and religions, and we all want the same thing: health, love, prosperity, and peace. And she says, it all comes down to one. India Ari. One more piece. I think it's important before I move forward. She says, tolerance is the seed, and the gift of your acceptance is the tree, right? And so I invite all of us, friends, let's mind Chi together. Let's pool our resources and mind Chi together. Chi has energy that has bubbled up, right? And it's starting to swirl. And if we just mind together that swirling energy, it has the potential to explode. Please join us.
A new day is dawning, the time is now, and the earth is calling our name. Carried within us the dream, dare we to grasp now the moment we can make dreams come true. If our vision is new, it's a quest that belongs to us all. Peacemakers gather and teach forgiveness, link hands through all lands in a circle of peace. Peacemakers gather, a new day is dawning, the time is now, and the earth is calling our name.
Thank you for that beautiful musical offering, and thank you, and may you be blessed in your sharing of your finances with us today. Be assured that it will all go to a good use. It is now part of our celebration of the 20th anniversary to offer all alumni the opportunity to renew their vows. So if you are interested in doing that with me now, please come forward. Nurture your relationship with the divine in all its manifestations. I will. Will you honor the diversity and unity of all beings, cultures, and traditions? I will. Will you inspire interfaith awareness, cooperation, and connection? I will. Will you uphold the interfaith congregation's ethical code of conduct and serve others with compassion and respect? I will. Will you continue to nourish yourself in spirit, body, heart, mind, and spirit? I will. And will you commit to serve peace, justice, and sustainability in the world? I will. Thank you. Before you're seated, I want to draw one of our crowd out for special recognition. Lauren Van Ham was in the first ordination group. I think you heard her ordained on November 14th, 1999. She did a year's CPE at St. Mary's in San Francisco and was hired there as a first interfaith chaplain. She She moved in 2007 to Saatchi & Saatchi S, which might sound like a law firm or a fashion design firm. And Lauren served as the Director of Learning and Development. She described it on her LinkedIn website as an organization that is working to create a healthy planet full of happy people through adopting a personal sustainability practice. Does that sound like something Lauren would be a part of?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Finally, in 2010, Lauren found her way back to the Chaplaincy Institute, where she served as, I said earlier, the Dean of Everything. She served us with loving and patient, confident and clear, forward-thinking and community-building leadership in the role of the Dean until just a few months ago. She is still serving as a much utilized contractor consultant. And I would like to invite all of you to come around as we say a blessing. Okay. Lauren, as your time as a staff member and consultant at the Chaplaincy Institute comes to an end, may you find clarity around what you will pursue next. And as that clarity comes to you, may a perfect match that may already be taking shape as we speak find you and complete that match that will make your heart sing. As I know you would say you have been blessed in your time with Chi, always remember and know that you have been a blessing. Thank you for bringing all of yourself to everything you did in your many roles at Chi. We all love you. Can I get an amen? And as alumni renew their vows, we're going to invite our new ordinands to take their vows. If you would, please come forward. And I invite John Mabry to come back and facilitate this process.
Shot. Ordination is an act of trust. It is, in fact, the formal act of a community bestowing its trust in an individual. This trust goes both ways, of course. The individual must be worthy of the community's trust, and the community must be worthy of the individual's trust. This web of mutual trust is what we in the religion biz call covenant. To enter into covenant with the Chi community as a duly ordained minister, we ask the ordinands to take vows before the presence of the divine, promises to which the ordinand is accountable to the community. We also ask the community to make vows to the ordinand before the divine, so that all are held within the web of mutual trust. The ordination vows are found in your bulletin. You will have a part. My friends, will you nurture your relationship with the divine and all its manifestations?
I will.
Will you honor the diversity and unity of all beings, cultures, and traditions?
I will.
Will you inspire interfaith awareness, cooperation, and connection?
I will.
Will you continue to nourish yourself in body, heart, mind, and spirit?
I will.
Will you commit to serve peace, justice, and sustainability in the world?
I will.
Will you uphold the values of the Chi community, representing us responsibly and with dignity?
I will.
Will you abide by the Chi community's code of ethical conduct and always serve others with compassion and respect?
I will.
Will you lovingly challenge this community to be the best version of itself and to live up to the things we say we believe?
I will.
Will you allow yourself to be changed, shaped, and transformed by this community?
I will.
Now I ask the Chi Interfaith community, is it your wish that we ordain these your friends as interfaith ministers?
It is. Let us ordain them and bless them for ministry.
Will you support them and encourage them in their work?
We promise our love, support, and care.
Will you lovingly challenge these new ministers to be the best versions of themselves and to help them live up to the things they believe?
We will.
Will you promise to allow yourself to be changed, shaped, and transformed by them?
We will.
And now we invite the stole bearers and charge givers to come forward, please. Stoles are given as an outward indication that the individual wearing that stole has been infused with ministerial and priestly authority. Turning to the dictionary again, we hear that to charge is to command, instruct, or exhort with authority. Charge givers, you have been given authority to charge your ordinand by the very act of being asked to give them this charge. It was, I'm sure, an invitation given in love and trust. You have likely been chosen because you know the ordinand very well, and particularly know and have been witness to their spiritual journey and the events which have led them here today. I invite you to speak truth from the heart.
person in the right place at the right time. And today we are affirming what we have always known. You are called by the God of many names to be an ordained minister and an interfaith chaplain.
You are the right person in the right place at the right time. And today we are affirming what we have always known to be true. That you are called by the God of many names to be an ordained minister and an interfaith chaplain. Be bold. Dream big. Love deeply. See beauty even when situations aren't pretty. Experience pleasure. Rest when needed. Know that you are not alone. And look to the great cloud of witnesses and comrades, those who are still living and those who have gone on before you. All who love and support you. Blessed be.
Ross, I charge you to fully accept your role as a representative of divinity and mystery. Ross, I charge you to fully accept your role Do you want to hand it to Grandma? Ross. I charge you to fully accept your role as a representative of divinity and mystery, confronting doubt with courage and faith. You are to be dutiful, respectful, and present in all of your ministerial endeavors. You are to balance well your inner personal development and your external pastoral services. You are to see light in all people. You are to respect darkness in all people. You are to cultivate interdependence and help all living things do the same, and to live in loving wisdom. And finally, you are to communicate truthful beauty, unifying body and spirit.
Okay. I charge you, Kimberly Edwards, to use your strength, integrity, and humility to help others embrace the unknown. Your path has led you down many twists and turns. Along the way, you have lived life, and you have done so enthusiastically, bravely, and honestly. I charge you to use your experience to help others find peace and strength. I charge you to listen to others and hear what they mean, not just what they say. I charge you to be a loyal friend and to value your family, because that's who you are and how you always have lived. And I charge you to recognize how your friends and family value you. You are unique and you are loved, and we believe in you. Finally, I charge you to better this world, because I know we absolutely can.
Who do you think you are? I was so happy, Wilderness Rose, to hear when you said in your words to us as a congregation, I love. And others have said that too. And I know where that comes from. It comes from a very, very deep place. I remember 4 years ago when you dropped down and centered yourself and said, my intent, what I want to accomplish and experience in my life is to be love and to be peace. And I watched a blossoming happen from that time on. And I've seen you grow in strength, and it's so nice that now you're here and the trials of ordination are over, that you can move on and be loved in the world. And yet, that question and all related questions that would drive you to self-doubt, would drive you to put yourself down or judge yourself with other people. Who do you think you are? Is going to be there all along the way. From here on, this is just an dress rehearsal. And so I remind you as you receive the mantle of ordination, to recognize your stole represents, on the right hand, leg of the stole, your sense of connection with yourself. Never lose that. And on the left hand, your sense of connection with all around you, with everything that is, and especially with those to whom you minister. I charge you to remember your original intent and to return to that again and again when you find yourself confronted with doubt or with challenge from the outside. Because you are love, you are love, and you are peace, and you are becoming that, and we see it, we see it. And this is so important, especially for this day and time when we seem to be in so many ways on the edge of another dark age. For you to be able to hold that space, which the Lord says, is a place, a field beyond right doing and wrongdoing. Meet us there. Those of us who love you and support you will meet you there. And if we can hold that kind of space together, we will help call out those who are searching for what's right and for what's true, for what's just and what's true. And I'm so honored to be your witness that you have all of those gifts given. Amen.
Man. Bonnie Lane, I charge you with bringing your unique gifts of clarity, compassion, empathy, and openness to all of the individuals with whom you will minister. May you remember that you and I and everyone are all unfinished, and that we need spiritual guides to accompany us on our life journey. May the sacredness of your work bring light and renewal to those who work with you and to those who seek and receive your work. May you see in what you do the beauty of your own soul. Bonnie, I charge you to open your hands, extend your arms, lift your head, look up and smile. Even the smallest gestures we make are signs of the Spirit. Remember as you share your gifts that a single touch may heal 1,000 hurts. Bonnie, I charge you to remember to put your oxygen mask on first, taking time to pray, study, and reflect, as well as play, laugh, and spend quality time with friends and family. Bonnie, may the light of your soul bless your work with love and warmth of heart.
Daughter that I love, here is my charge to you. I charge you to complete the life's journey that you began so long ago. Your early years, empathy for your fellow travelers on this road of life has been your most compelling characteristic. You have spent 35 years caring physical and spiritual care for patients, prisoners, and young people who have lost their way. 35 years of nursing for newborn infants, for geriatric patients, and for oncology patients. Your prisoner outreach that you and your husband John did at the prison system has given spiritual freedom to many who had no physical freedom. Your women's group empowered young women to reclaim custody of their children that they may have lost. In your new role as chaplain, you will use the light that you have been given to eliminate the spiritual path which may have grown dim after years of use or in time of greatest need. To elevate their spirits to a plane above the fears and doubts that threaten their spiritual tranquility. I charge you to gain with each personal encounter the ability to build a continuous stairway that ascends to that higher plane. And no father on this planet is more proud of his daughter right now.
Or husband.
practice used across cultures, across time. It is used to signify the separating apart or the singling out for a purpose. We've been hearing all about the purpose. You guys are ready. Now we set you apart. I'd like to invite Jürgen Schwing, core faculty and director of chaplaincy at Kaiser Walnut Creek Hospital.
Now we are about to come to the big moment of ordaining by laying on of hands. In a moment I will invite you to join us in this act that Jim at the beginning has described to us as both an empowering and an authorizing of these wonderful men and women as ministers, and as an act of infusing them with a power greater than ourselves. Another way to say this is that there's a human and a divine component in the act of laying on of hands and in ordaining. On the human level, while we all in some ways are ministers to one another, for the purpose of expediency and bringing it into the world, we call out some among us to be trained and empowered for this ministry. And these 6 have been trained, and today they will be empowered. But there's a divine component as well. The act of laying on of hands is a blessing. It is a way of mediating the divine spirit, the transcendent, the holy, upon these called to serve in the world. Many thousands of years ago, the Israelites, the people, laid on their hands upon their priests and leaders to bless them and empower them. In the Christian tradition, Christ laid on hands and brought healing. In the Eastern tradition, the laying on of hands involves transmitting an energy, a holy power, a chi, which is also the acronym for our Chaplaincy Institute. So I now invite you to please join me, and we'll do that in a particular order, to engage in this act of empowering, authorizing, and infusing with the Holy Spirit. We will do this by laying on of hands. I invite first all clergy from any tradition to please join us in laying hands on our ordinance, who will stand in a circle. Any previously ordained or authorized ministers from any tradition, please lay on hands. Next, I invite direct family of the ordinance to please come forward and lay on hands in front and to someone in front of you that will be transmitted to our ordinance. Ordination is an act of the community, so I now invite all other friends and acquaintances and members of the Chaplaincy Institute, visitors, and everyone who is gathered in this room to please come forward and join us. Holy One, Great Spirit, whom we know by many names and who is above all names and in all names, pour your blessings upon these 6 ordinances and empower them with your healing power, with your prophetic power, and with your power to change lives and society. Holy One, fill them with the wild goose Holy Spirit. Cosmic consciousness, heal the split of body and spirit and help them to be one so that their ministry is empowered to heal splits of all kinds. Holy One, give us your ubuntu. Bless these ordinances with kindness, generosity, community, and connectedness. Holy One, when these called out will be without words, let them bring love beyond words. Holy One, when they are called to the sides of those at the end of life, let them know that you are the mystery that is present for those who are at death's door and have 6 more months to go, or those who are taken from us unexpectedly. Empower their blessings that they will give to those at this threshold. Holy One, you are the great I am, and you live as the I am of each one of us. Empower the I am of these ordinances, that they may be the wise women and wise men, the good mothers and the good fathers, the warriors that we need them to be. Amen. Amen. And I now invite you to add, keep your hands on, in silence, to add your own blessings, your own prayers, your own intentions in your own way. An ordinance receive what is being transmitted to you from a higher power through those gathered today. May all these blessings, spoken and unspoken, from our hearts, from our spirits, bless your ministry, fill you with all that you need to mediate to a broken world in need, the love of the divine that you are ready to bring. Amen. Amen. And you may be seated, except for our ordained ministers, who we will ask to stay.
April, Ross, Kim, Rose, Molly, and Tammy. Knowing that you have fulfilled all requirements of the Interfaith Studies program, knowing that you have been approved for ordination by the Interfaith community, having heard and seen you accept your vows, receive your charges, anointing and laying on of hands by the community as it is gathered here today, it is my pleasure as your community minister to acknowledge your ordination and to introduce you to this august body. It is my pleasure to introduce Reverend April Louise Boyden, Interfaith Minister and Chaplain. Reverend Ross Burns, Interfaith Minister and Chaplain. Reverend Kim Edwards, Interfaith Chaplain. Reverend Wilderness Rose. Reverend Bonnie Lane. Reverend Tammy Werman, Interfaith Minister and Chaplain. Congratulations. Well done. Just a simple reminder, before we receive the benediction, you are invited to a reception. Please go on the side. Please allow our ordained students and certified spiritual directors to remain for a little photo op, and they will join you later. We have gathered as a community. We have been blessed, and we have been a blessing. We have heard from these 6 courageous individuals. We have witnessed the reception of certification. And in all of that, our community grows and is strengthened. So may you go from this place knowing the presence of divinity. May you take that with you, and may it inspire you to random acts of kindness in the next day, week, and months to come. Thank you for being here and honoring these individuals. May you be blessed.
Sure.